This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit in association with NSC.
All right, welcome back. You're with us here on opening 5. Nifty is down about 1/3%, 30 odd points. 8680 is where we are trading at this stage. I'll get to the markets in a bit more detail, but I've got Mr. Partha D. Sarkar, Global CEO at Hinduja Global Solutions, joining us on a phone line. Thanks very much, Mr. Sarkar. Good to have you with us here. I just want to ask you, okay, I think we've lost him. The reported numbers, revenues were up 5.4% quarter on quarter for okay, I think we'll just look at the numbers in a bit. Okay, I think those are the numbers. 4.5% growth in top line for the third quarter, and 38% growth in the profit in the third quarter as well. So the rate of growth has actually gone down. The number for second quarter was 5.4%. The growth this time is 4.3 odd %. I'll just put out the profit comparison as well in a bit. Okay, I think we've got the management back on the phone line with us, Mr. Sarkar. Mr. Sarkar, thanks very much. We lost you there. Good to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Can you just, yes, could you just outline how you see these numbers? Because if I look at the revenue numbers, what was the quarter on quarter growth? By the way, let me just start with that. In the third quarter, revenue growth.
Yeah, the third quarter revenue growth in specific terms is about 4.34%. On a year-on-year basis, that's about 11.5%, so strong growth and along expected lines. Typically, the second half of the year is stronger for us than the first half.
Right. No, I mean, second quarter revenues grew 5.5%, so there is a bit of a slowdown, right? Rate of growth has come off.
No. If you look at the numbers, second quarter was 702 crores. Sales is 732 crores for the third quarter, so that's about 4.34% growth.
No, I understand. I'm just saying that in second quarter compared to the first quarter, the growth was 5.5%. This time it's about a little over 4%. So
okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. So you're saying that, comparing that with the growth that we've achieved in the second quarter to this one. See, I mean, it's difficult to kind of give you a sense of this, how things are moving in a quarter. It's a long-term business. Things don't dramatically change over quarters. What we will be able to tell you is, if you look at the business over the longer term, and that's why probably the year-on-year growth number is more relevant than the quarterly comparison. On a year-on-year basis, it has been about 11.5% in terms of rate of growth. And the reason why the growth this quarter is a little slower than what's in the previous quarter is because the currency effect. The currency has moved across the world in different levels. The US dollar has strengthened, the Canadian dollar has gone down. So overall basis, these two currencies contribute about 75% of our revenues. And because they've moved in a contrarian direction, you will see some impact of that in the growth numbers that are reported in rupee terms.
Yeah. Okay. How are the segments doing? Healthcare, for example.
Healthcare has been doing really well. Healthcare, as you all know, the Healthcare Reform Act has driven a lot of new volume into the system. And healthcare also has been our traditionally strong domain. So this quarter, that constitutes about 36% of our revenues. There's one phenomena that happens in healthcare, which is all health insurance policies in the U.S. gets renewed on 31st of December. It is called open enrollment, and because that's such a large number, that drives a lot of the growth in the second half of the year, and that's why the second half of the year actually is better for us from a growth perspective.
Okay, but fair enough. But you said that 36% is healthcare now, the overall revenues.
That is correct.
Right. What about the other segments?
So telecom has been a mixed bag. In telecom, we've done well in the US and in UK. Canada, the volumes are just starting to pick up. In fact, we had a slow first half of the year for Canada, so I'm reassured by the fact that Canada is starting to pick up. In the Indian business, the work that we do for Indian operators, there has been a little bit of a slowdown. The volumes have actually gone down quite a bit. So when I look at telecom, and that's also another 30% of our business, I would call it a mixed bag, because some geographies have done well, some haven't done all that well. So that's where we are on telecom.
Right. And telecom is how much of your revenues?
That's approximately 32%, I would say.
Okay, so telecom and healthcare, the two biggest segments, right?
That is correct.
Which is the next?
So then we have consumer. Consumer's been good for us. Consumer is actually a mixture of FMCG and consumer durable. Consumer durable has been slower, but consumer FMCG segment of the consumer has actually been very steady. We've done pretty well. That constitutes about 14 to 15% of our revenues as well. So that's the third big domain for us.
Got that. Thanks very much for joining us, Mr. Sarkar. Appreciate you joining in. Good luck. Thanks very much again. Take a break here. We are coming back in 2 minutes. We have more on the markets, what's happening in the mid-cap pack, etc. with Pankaj. We're back.